Dear learner, for the MOOCs, we are here again in the lectures that we have started on the personal administration. As in the earlier lecture, we have already understood the term personal administration, its nature and its scope. We already have discussed that the people of a country are an important asset to it, and so is the case with the organization. The successful functioning of an organization depends on its manpower. That is what we have seen. Now, firstly, we will go with a quick revision of what we have studied in the first lecture of the personal administration, which deals with the management of human resources. We have seen that sometimes we called it human resource management, sometimes public administration management, sometimes personal administration management. So this lecture of previous lectures that was dealing with the management of human resources. Personal administration is a part of administration which is concerned with the people at work and their relationship with an organization. The organization relationship with the workers which are working on organization. We can say that the planning and forecasting for personnel, evaluating employees' performance, hiring and staffing decisions, training and development, and maintaining and enhancing output and performance, all are included in the personal administration. India's public services are comprised of public personal administration. There are several aspects of public personal administration that set it apart from the private administration. There is a private administration which has been regulated by private individuals. The public personal administration provides a wide range of services and must attend to the needs of greater number of the people. This private administration is attracting only a small section or the section they finalize to target. But here when we say about the public personal administration, we are not fixing any group or any section. We are actually look after this public personal administration, look after the wide range of services. And that is the greater number of the people, that whole country that is been taken care of. It continuously affects everyone's well-being and reflects broader social and economic circumstances. The public personal system is essential to the government's ability to carry out its initiative, policies and programs. These programs are for everyone who are the part of the citizenship of that country. That is being carried out by the public personal administration. Because of that, we are saying that it has to take care of something which is of a broader social base, which is carrying out and reflects the economy of the whole peoples who are working there. It continuously affects everyone's well-beings and reflects broader social and economic circumstances. The public personal system is essential to the government ability to carry out initiative. Let's start with today's topic with the certain features of personal administration in India, in which we will start with the study something which we have seen in the ancient period of time. When we go through the history, we find that India is a very rich as far as the dynasty is concerned. We had the Gupta dynasty, we have Maurya dynasty, Mughal dynasty, and these longer dynasty periods of dynasty have actually give a guidelines, create a system where we started having a broader system of administration which has been carried by the ruler. For example, when you go through the Kautilya Shastra, this Kautilya Shastra explains the hierarchy of administration. Kautilya has explained Yukta, Upayukta, Tatpurusham. That is in the form of an officer, the servant, and there is a peon. All these are been in the system of the hierarchy, Yukta, Upayukta, and Tatpurusham. Same after that, when we came to the Mughals period, the Muslim period we call it, they were having a system of Mansabdari, and Ek Hazari, Panch Hazari, Das Hazari. This Mansabdari is a system where the people having more horses and weapons and armies with them, their positions have been higher. From one ek Mansabdari, then Panch Mansabdari, then 10 Mansabdari. This is the first, say, fifth and 10th Mansabdari on the basis of ranks. Same way, when these peoples who are there, they are the peoples who been given this designation, does not retain as a heredity forms, because once the person who has been given this designation, the Panch Hazari, is given to a person, when he dies, then his family did not get that recognition in the administration. These peoples, the government takes all the asset in their hand and give us a mere amount of asset to them to start their livelihood and to reach to that extent if they are having. So the talent was also be this in this concept, which is known as the Mansabdari system. Then after that, the Mughals came gone. Then the East India Company have started administration in Indian system. In Indian system, they had the system of covenanted and non-covenanted services. Those people who were coming from the England and officers from the England, they were given the designation covenant servants. And those were Indians with the mere salaries and hard work. They are known as non-covenant services. Then the British took over after the Chippewa Mutiny and the administration came into the hand of the British government. Then the British have started this odd administrative system. When in the present system what we are having in India, we say that it is a British legacy. Present administration is the legacy of the British system. The bureaucracy in India is the result of the British rule. A service system was pushed by the East India Company in order to further enhance its trading and economic objectives. So this East India Company was basically a business group. So their administration was based on the system of trading and economy. This is the objectives they were having here. Political unification of India and the nation's resources exploitation for the British government's benefit were its goal when it assumed control in the country in 1858. This is the British governments that is they wanted to have. They know that India is having a rich in their resources. They took over the power from the East India Company in 1858 and their policy was based on the resource exploitation only. This demanded a minimum amount of social and economic and development activities but maximum amount of administrative control. So they were not here for the welfare of the people. They were not here for the purpose of economic development of the people. They were not here for the infrastructure development of the people. But they only had an administration which they wanted to keep control over the people here and have an exploitation policies, resource extortion from Indian territory. Public personal system was characterized by its elitist nature, exclusivist attitudes, but maximum amount of administrative control was there. This system, this had a dictatorship of the control in both an action and behaviors. So this is the approach of the British system of administration. It had a structural rigidity and fragility. It was too hierarchical and precedent binding. It had no human connections orientation. It had a feudalist and separatist attitudes and temper. It had no welfare or development motives. All these things that happened with it to maintain a safe and wide distance from the people. They don't want to interact with the people. They only wanted to use the people for their own benefits. They were not caring for the welfare of the people. They were not caring about the livelihood. They only caring about the directives which is coming from the British government, and that was to take the exploitation of the resources available in the territory of India. This is what the concept which was in the British rule. After independence in 1947 and with the adoption of Indian Constitution in 1950, a lot of pressure was laid down on the personal system. It was not necessary to restructure the aristocratic, hierarchical, authoritarian and flexible government to form to the principles of liberty, equality, fraternity and justice outlined in the Constitution. So the Constitution became the guidelines. It is the constitution which is to be implemented. The policy of welfare has to be started, which is there in the constitution. The policy of the Britishers which was then was there till 1947 is no more required in the system, because now we say that the people who have their own government, and the people must get benefit from the government in the form of liberty, equality and justice. Our plan's objectives put the administration under great strain, which included social justice, industrialization, modernization, and economic development. This was not there in the British period. There was no social justice, no industry was established. They uses the resources from raw material from India and was transported to the Britain, and there it was used as a manufacturing sector, and was the materials coming back in that market of India, and they were taking a huge profit from that. And there was no concept of modernization either in the urban development or the technology development. There was no step for the economic development of the country. As a result, the administration had to change to become these challenges has to be taken by the free India, and this change has to become that in the form of a welfare and development focused by the post-independence period's government. Two fundamental shifts that occurred after independence had a significant impact on the functioning of the civil services. Initially, the parliamentary democracy system brought about the accountability of the civil services to the political executive. Secondly, civil services started functioning as a tool for the advancement and development of the nations. In the British legacy, British period, what we have seen, it is the legislative, executive, judiciary, all was in the hand of the bureaucrats, or they all were hand in the civil servants, and they were exploiting it with this great tremendous power. But here, now the parliamentary democracy had adopted. Accountability has fixed to the civil servants, and these civil servants has to be a tool for the purpose of advancement and of an economic advancement, social advancement, development of the nations. That is a major changes has been brought after the independence. Public personal system aims at the fulfillment of the goals of the government. That system is only for the purpose of achieving the goals which is fixed by the government. The primary objective of the public personal administration in India is to enable and accomplish the objective of the government. After objectives has been established, public personal system must set up to carry out the plans and meet quantitative and qualitative benchmarks by carefully utilizing the resources at hand while keeping the two factors of time and money in mind. So the resources that is being generated here, that resources has to be utilized in a maximum manner, so that the plans which is fixed by the government for the development, either in the industrial development or economic development, with the quality and quantity has to be achieved with minimum expenditure and minimum time that is be there for that is the policy was to rapid development by asking these bureaucrats or this personal system to work for the development of the nation. Public personal system includes recruitment, selection, placement, training, health, safety, performance, evaluation, promotion, and overall welfare activities. So these things also been carried out in the constitution, and the constitution has taken care of all these things which was required in the personal system for the purpose of the civil servants. Increase in development functions is a very essential part in this Indian present administration. The expansion of public education funding and the extension of social security benefits have grown to be the crucial government initiatives. Government has taken on the greater duty of ensuring the safety and well-being of every person. Putting these things into practice is difficult challenges, because this was not the priority in the British period. The Britishers were not interested for educating the people. Britishers were not interested for providing any type of safety and security to the people. Now, as there was no infrastructure for these purposes, so it was a difficult challenge for the personal administration in India. Public services is an essential social instrument. It bridges the gap between the legislative contents and its fulfillment. Public services can help to establish and strengthen the minimum condition required for the economic development. It is a responsibility for laying down conditions for maintaining law and order, developing infrastructure facilities, and favorable administrative structures. Public services plays an important role in modifying the resources structure of the country. How these resources has to be utilized in such a manner that the maximum achievement can be done, maximum development become whatever resources available in our country. The concept of welfare state, the increase in the aspirations of the people, the growth of the science and technology have brought forth the demand for the increasing role of specialists in administration. The civil servants are now expecting new specialization, new techniques, new methods. The role of the specialist in public services has thus become very crucial, and their number in the service is constantly increasing. And there is a conflict between generalist and specialist, but here now the change circumstance, environment and expansions in the activities and adoptions of new technologies and social basis, it has become very important that the specialist must contribute more in the administrators. Limited political rights of the civil servants is also one of the issue. Extremely limited political rights of the civil servants has been regarded as one of the essential condition for maintaining a discipline, integrity and political neutrality of the services. This political interference, political activities of civil servant is not good for the welfare states. To ensure political neutrality of the public services, the civil servants are denied direct participation in political activities. If they are being allowed to do these activities, then they have more focused on the political activities rather than the development or overall development of the nation. So it is very necessary that limited activities should be carried out by the civil servants in the area of the politics. The Central Civil Services Conduct Rule 1964 prohibited civil servants from taking part in politics. They cannot be the member of any political party or any organization which takes part in politics, nor can they subscribe it and aid or assist any other matter in political movement or activity. That is been clearly written in the Code of Conduct. There is an All India Services Code of Conduct rules in 1954 where the civil servants are forbidden to converse or use their influence for any legislature or local authority in an election. So no activities should be carried out by all India servants in the influencing the legislature for making any type of rules on the basis of the political affiliation. Civil servants cannot express themselves on political issues. According to the Rule 8 of the Central Civil Services Conduct Rules, they are prohibited from communicating any official documents or information to anyone with whom they are not authorized to communicate. There is the concept of the secrecy has to be maintained. Confidentiality has to be maintained in the system. The features of the civil services, when we try to understand, there are certain important areas has to be discussed when we want to discuss about the features of the civil service in India. And the important features that we discussed, it is that it also does not include those persons who hold political offices. These civil servants cannot be those included in those persons who is there in the political offices, and those persons who work for the state without being paid, that is an honorary capacity. It worth mention that the criteria mentioned earlier do not include esteemed politicians or selfless contributors who work without pay. These exceptional individuals dedicate their times and expertise in an honorary capacity, demonstrating and willingly committed to the public services and civil duties. Their selfless contribution play a vital role in upholding the integrity and efficiency of our governmental institutions. It is, second, what we find that it is a body of professional administrators are opposed to amateur politicians. These highly skilled individuals possess a great understanding of inner working of their respective fields, allowing them to navigate complex challenges, make informed decisions that drive progress. These dedicated professionals are well versed in the intricacies of the administration, ensuring efficiencies, accountability, and effective governance. Further, we say that impartial selections in its members and appointment by an open competitive examinations. And this also we say that it is against the politicians who are elected on the party line. One of the key advantages of impartial selection is that its members are appointed through rigorous and transparent open competitive process rather than being influenced by political affiliations. This ensures that those chosen for the important positions are not simply selected based on the party line, but rather on their expertise, qualification, and merits. By removing political bias from the equations, impartial selection guarantees for a fair and objective approach to decision making, ultimately leading to the better outcome for all stakeholders involved. Further, we can say that they are paid regularly by the state and do not have the incentives of the private profit while in civil services. One of the significant advantages of individual working civil services is that they receive a regular and stable financial compensation from the state, as opposed to the private sector employees who may be driven by the prospects of the personal profit. Civil servants are motivated by a sense of public services and commitment to their roles. The absence of profit-driven incentives ensure the civil servants can solely focus on service of the community best interest without any conflict of interest. It is a career services in the sense that its members take up public services as a lifetime occupations. This invaluable career services goes beyond just a job, as dedicated members wholeheartedly embrace public services as a lifelong commitment. Not only do they see it as a means of earning a living, but they also recognize the immense impact they can make on society through their work. By devoting themselves to this noble cause, they strive to create positive change and leave a lasting legacy of future generations. These members are skilled in the sense that they become experts in their profession due to continuous training and work experience. The members of this are known as the expert because of experiences they have gained while doing a similar type of work for the very longer period of time. The members of these exceptionally groups are not just skilled, but they possess a level of expertise that is truly remarkable. Their dedications to continuous training and accumulation of work experience set them apart as a true masters in their performance. Through their unwavering commitment to the personal growth and the development, they have honored their skill to perfections, allowing them navigate even the most complex challenges with ease and finances. Their expertise is not simply acquired overnight. It is the result of countless hours devoted to refining their craft, embracing new knowledges, and pushing the boundaries of what is possible. As a result, they stand a shining example of what we can achieve through an unwavering pursuit of excellence. It is this civil service or personal administration is organized on the principles of hierarchy, which is a change of command stretches in a pyramid fashions with lowest office to the highest. Organization structure is meticulously designed based on the time-tested principles of hierarchy, where a well-defined chain of command extends in a pyramid-like fashions, starting from the lowest office, ascending all the way up to the pinnacle of the authority. This hierarchical setup ensures a smooth flow of communication, efficient decision-making process, and clear line of responsibility throughout the organization. It empowers employees at every level to collaborate effectively while maintaining the clear understanding of their roles and responsibilities and relationship, ultimately fostering an environment of productivity and accountability. Very important point here when we say these civil servants commitment towards the nation development, there is a necessary of neutrality which is very essential as part of the civil servant. Neutrality is that its members serve different political regimes impartially. Neutrality is a fundamental principle that lies in the core of the organization or institution. It signifies the ability to serve various political regimes and entities with absolute impartiality. There is no any partial activity that is on. It is absolute impartiality. This unbiased approach ensures that members of such organizations are committed to upholding the fairness and objectivities in their work, regardless of political landscape they find themselves in. By adhering to these principles, these individuals are able to navigate through diverse political government, provide their services without any bias, favoritism, thereby maintaining the highest standard of professionalism and integrity. Anonymity is another very important aspect which is there civil services and particularly in India. Anonymity, that is, it works without praise or blame. Anonymity, a remarkable characteristic that sets apart, unable to operate impartially and unbiasedly, free from any external influence or judgment. This unique attribute allows its work to seamlessly without seeking recognition or face criticism. It embodies a sense of independence and neutrality that ensures actions are solely driven by pursuing excellent and fulfilling intended purposes. Thank you. Thank you for watching. See you in next lecture.